Hello, welcome back, everyone. This is L Spectra, and I am commentating the Holy Mountain battle between server 12 and server 57. So, currently, I heard from my clanmate that the battle is a little messy. It does appear that we are winning, but not by a super big margin. What I can say about server 57 is that although they do not have anyone over Glorious 5, some of their Glorious 5 are pretty damn strong for Glorious 5. Now, they are not super strong, like compared to Glorious 8, they are not very strong, but they do have well built Titanos, they do have fairly good Lord power, and they do have fairly respectable formation level. So here you can see we are being hit by two rallies. I think the right move here would be for JFK, which is our Glorious 8 player, to put his Season 4 team in one of these towers and his Season 5 team in the other tower. So I don't think this is great. He's not in here for whatever reason. Let's see if he's in the other tower. What is he doing? JFK mate, what are you doing? What is this? Okay, so he's in this tower for whatever reason. I don't think he should be in this tower at all. Um, yeah, so this is a bit of trouble. Now I think Val should retreat from this tower because they cannot hold it. So this is the right move. And they should retreat from this tower as well. And what JFK should do now is to start launching rallies on both of these towers. Okay, now he joined this tower, meaning that they don't need to retreat from this tower. Although I think he did a major misplay by using Awaken Odin, because Odin is absolute trash compared to Windstrider. So although I believe that he will firmly defend, I think that he will take more losses than necessary. So I think the right move from server 57 will be to cancel this rally, because yeah, there's just no way he can break it, even though the rally setup is not ideal, simply because Glorious 8 is too strong. So they didn't cancel. The rally has been launched. Let's see what the result is. So let's see what the rally defense is. If there is a Kellerman here, there is a Kellerman, so the rally defense is fairly solid. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any Windstriders here. There's no Windstriders and two absolute garbage Red Dragon and one absolute garbage Blue Dragon. So if they somehow manage to stack like 5 Windstriders in this rally, they actually might have a chance of punching through. So the rally has been cancelled, which is what I expected. Now JFK just needs to rally the top tower and or solo attack this tower. He doesn't need to stay in this tower for much longer. And I think in this case, because server 47 does not really have any Glorious 8 player, JFK can make more use of his Season 4 team. So his Season 4 team is in here. I think he should switch out his Titanos, but maybe this is even a good strategy because he's putting the stronger Titanos on the weaker team so that the two teams are a little more balanced towards each other. So now Lady Vera is launching a rally towards this. Personally, I think that a stronger player should be launching a rally here, like maybe Ninja, but this should be fine as well, depending on who the defender is. Um, right. Although I do think that JFK should just put a Seasons 3 team here, because actually I don't think that server 47 and server 57 can kick out his Season 3 team, even if they attack with Season 5. So he should put his Season 3 team and launch a rally with his Season 4 towards this tower. It means that before, so basically players can only have two teams inside either towers, Holy Mountains, or Breath of Light. But before the teams actually enter the captured target, you can launch as many rallies as you want. Um, right. So we can see here that Um, ALT is so we they have players handling these Breath of Light's target. Let's see what the status is here. It appears that there isn't too much contesting over these towers. We can see a majority of these towers are not actually being contested over. Yeah. So let's go back to the fight itself. There's nobody in here. Maybe JFK can put a season 3 team in here, but it doesn't really take much of a defense for server 57 to just not be able to solo punch through. So I think that as long as server 47, server 57 only has hold of two towers, and if server 12 continuously kick them out of these towers, they will not be able to control these towers for long enough that the attack countdown, the attack cycle would go down to a minute. So they can keep this attack cycle to 2 minutes in length, and it wouldn't be nearly as painful as if it was 1 minute per attack. Yeah, as we can see, server 57 does not expect to win against Glorious 8 either. But they are putting up a good fight, I would say. If the action kind of simmers down, I'm going to go back to server 16 versus server 47, just to see some more solo action because their no hit agreement has been broken, and it's always interesting to see how a whale starts attacking lower players. The dynamics of it is always very interesting because I remember when I was fighting with server 6, back then I didn't have many troops, so whenever I sent out my main team, I would actually be leaving myself fairly vulnerable to getting attacked by server 6 two whales. So what would happen is that when I sent out my season 5 team, Joe Zero would immediately launch an attack to me with his season with his latest season, and he would deal a lot of damage to me actually because I didn't have enough troops to defend against the one tier against one season higher, uh, an attack that's one season higher. Okay, 5186 is launching a rally. I'm probably not going to join this fight because if I join this fight, they're just going to run, and it's not going to be very fun for anyone. Okay, the rally has launched by Lady Vera. Season 4? I don't know why he's attacking with Season 4, but if the defense here is strong, then it's not going to work. It does appear to be a full defense, so I don't think this is going to work. Okay, it didn't work. um, this is not a good attack. You don't attack with Season 4. Like, yeah, so this was the defense. Season 5 defense stats. Stats are not good, but versus Season 4, they're better. They're more than enough. So 5186 has rallied. JFK joined this rally, so it should be a fairly strong rally. Let's see who's in here. Oops. No. I can't even see who's in the rally. That's unfortunate, but we will be able to see based on the report. So I'm sure that this rally will be Season 5 because 5186 is fairly experienced. And we are also receiving an attack. So JFK sent out his main season 5 team for 5186's rally. So I think what he should do now is just send his season 4 team here. I think his season 14, backed up by the rest of this team, uh, backed up by the rest of this support, will be more than enough to take on his rally. And to be fair, he actually has time to launch this rally, pull his troops back, and join this tower with his season 5. He has enough time to do that. But those are just all the options he can take. So he says he's holding this, but really, I think he should hold this with season 3. Because if he holds this with season 3, especially if there's a couple more reinforcements, there's nothing server 57 can do to kick him out. So I think that he is kind of wasting his season 4 team here. Yeah, and apologize that my voice is a little hoarse. It's very early in the morning here, and I kind of just woke up. I have a cup of coffee next to me, and I'm sipping on it as I commentate. So I think I don't know why there's no troops in here right now. I think at the very minimum, someone in Val should at least like put one troop in here. It doesn't really hurt. It doesn't really cost them anything. Like have some random farm account, just put one troop in here, or not one troop, like 100 troops. Because if you put one troop in here and a tower attacks, it will actually kick that one troop out. Funny thing about it. So I'm not gonna scout because I don't want to scare them, but we will see. We will see what the defense was based on the report. Okay, the rally will be launching now. So if it kicks them out, you will see that it prevents this tower from attacking. So if you are holding on to the center with a lot of troops, you can just continuously prevent them from attacking with either solo attack control or rallies. Of course, rallies take 5 minutes, so they will be able to get in a couple hits, but you will still be able to reset that time interval between attacks. Right, so this does go down, which is excellent. Let's see what the losses are. Yeah, the losses have been a bit severe, and I would partially attribute that, first of all, because JFK is running absolute trash. No, no, no. I wouldn't call Odin absolute trash. Not so good Odin. And because 5186 does not have Awakened Quinn. So, what Awakened Quinn does is that it reduces your opponent's normal attack damage by 30%. It's a literally a zero point 0.7 multiplier, meaning that if your opponent was previously dealing like 2000 damage to you, they will only be able to deal 1400. So let's see the report. No, this wasn't the report. I hope they show the report. But either way, let's see what happens to his rally. So let's update the defense here. I see a bunch of Odins and just terrible Titanos overall. So honestly, I don't think this is going to hold unless JFK joins, which I don't think he does. So this, it will be a mistake if he cancels this rally. Yeah, like using Red Dragon at this point of the game is just really not good. So leaving the tower is the right move. I think Nerve made a mistake here by not immediately speeding up because if there's one thing Val is very good at is PvP dynamics. So we, I'm not gonna scout this, but One thing Val is kind of good at is just judging whether a defense is worth holding. And in that scenario, they were obviously at a heavy disadvantage, primarily because of the very poor Titanos. So now TWW holds this tower, and they hold this tower. I think what JFK should consider doing is maybe solo attacking this. What is going on here? Okay, yeah, I think that was just misclick. There's no way he was going to rally one of our members because if they break the pact, if they break the agreement, then I'm probably going to join the fight. So troop details here, you can see that he chose to not solo attack because he simply cannot break through this, even though it doesn't have much in terms of troops. So let's see what this is. This could be a mistake on their part because I don't actually he has a fairly good Titanos, fairly good relic power. His stats are okay actually. So but rallying something that JFK is just next to is not good. So as I mentioned earlier, solo attacking this is potentially a very good option. I don't know what's in here, but if there's no strong defense, then yeah, it's immediately broken. Now he can probably just hold this with his season 4 team, especially now that Windstride is in here. Now Windstride is actually helping. They do have 3 absolute garbage non-resonated Moonbanes. I'm not too sure why people are still using Moonbane, but it's really, really bad. If we take a look at the report here, actually, okay. So if we take a look at the report here, I will show you the difference in damage between Titanos. Not this one. Where is the report? Okay, I've apparently lost sight of the report, but I'm sure they will post another one. Yeah, I'm sure they'll post another one. So that rally got cancelled, which is a good move. And now they will rally this tower, but there's nobody in this tower, so there's no point rallying it anyways. Light of Heaven is rallying this, which is fine. But there's still no troops in here. I cannot understand why they don't just put a couple hundred troops in here. It will keep increasing our score. Like in this case, the fight is a little more imbalanced, so it's not too big of a deal if there's no troops in there. But in a more even fight, it is very important to increase your score, because at the end of the Holy Mountain battle, if the fights are very even, then the alliance with the higher score will take the Holy Mountain. When a battle ends in 22 hours, but I'm sure nobody wants to fight for 22 hours. Maybe only the very top alliances are willing to deal with something like that. I should hotkey this. Ninja is probably just trolling here. Yeah. So Light of Heaven is rallying this tower. I really want to go see what the rally itself actually looks like. because then I can kind of commentate on rally support components. I think what I will do is I'll just teleport here just so that I can see what the rally itself is composed of. Okay, so two Wind Striders, which is fine. And let's see the rally composition. So we have Anubis and Kellerman, which is actually very good. Let's see who is supporting with the Anubis. This guy is. Good job. So now Ninja is going to leave this tower, obviously. 3 troops. Okay, he's not going to leave. He doesn't have to. So now we are kind of just waiting for the rally. Troop details. Like here, I would much rather those 10 troops be here than in this tower, because nobody is controlling the Holy Mountain. It doesn't matter if you have troops in this tower. It does matter if you have troops in here because it gets us more points. Okay, so the rally is about to launch. Personally, I think this rally is fairly strong, so I think there's a good chance of breaking it, even if the defense is very strong. And it didn't break, so let's see what the report looks like. RIP JFK? Did something happen to him? Oh, he solo attacked this. Okay, that wasn't a good move. Let's see what the report is. Yeah, I am marginally surprised that they could not break through this. Oh, what is that equipment power? And formation power. Okay, that's not good. But most disappointing is the equipment power. I think nowadays with fabled equipment, you can easily achieve 2 to 3 million equipment power. Like, what is my equipment power? 4 million. I think at least 2.5 million equipment power is easily achievable. I mean, just look at these people. 2.8 million equipment power. And equipment is actually very impactful now because Fable equipment, especially if you specialize where you use them. For example, here, I run a full defensive setup on my Michael. And this is actually a fairly budget setup, meaning that I don't run full Fable. I run 2 pieces of Fable, which are maxed. So it gives me HP and 200% defense. And I run a third equipment, which gives me more defense, additional defense. And what's really different between Fable and Legendary equipment is that instead of giving ferocity, the boots actually give defense. So you can take advantage of that, seeing that Season 5 infantry doesn't really deal much damage due to the 90% damage suppression. You can just give them more defense and they will be able to tank much more. But you can see, just based on these equipments, my Michael has so much extra stats. And if you don't have that, if you're still running tier 2 legendary, like this guy probably is, you are just losing out on so much stats. Let's see if I could find a report. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is just mostly a stat difference, but it really doesn't help that his Michael is not maxed. I think in terms of proper rallying, they should really have the person with the better heroes be the rally leader, even if it's not JFK. Having not maxed Michael, what that will do is that will actually that will actually make you lose so much troops at the very beginning of the fight. So first, let's take a look at the stats. As expected, the stats are much lower, and that is partially because that is partially due to equipment. I would say the equipment is just not up to par. I think if the equipment is better, this could be boosted by like at least 100%. This could be boosted by 100%, and once that happens, the HP will be like the same, and the defense will be a little more even. But if we look at the details here, you can see his Michael did absolutely nothing, while the opponent's Michael did a lot of damage, and so did the opponent's Quinn. The opponent's Quinn was able to kind of just wipe out his Quinn because his Michael is not awakened. And non-awakened Michael does not use the rage skill at the very beginning of the battle, unlike awakened Michael, meaning that his Michael and Quinn got a 90% damage down, while this guy's Michael and Quinn had absolute free reign for the first like 8 seconds. So let's take a look at the battle itself. So we can see the awakened Kellerman will use their rage skill right away. The rage skill launches, and just look at the damage on this Kellerman. It will go from like thousands, down to just low hundreds. Okay, my game crashed. So let me relaunch the game and we will look at that battle again. I'm not sure if this is also an issue on other emulators, but it's certainly an issue on Nox. And I think for my next commentary, I will try using, I think it's called Momo or Mumu emulator instead. But Nox kind of crashes on me about once every hour, which is really annoying. It actually used to crash like once every half an hour. Okay, so let's take a look at the report now. And what I really want you to observe is the difference in the damage from the first couple hits, like from the first rage skills. So just look at Kellerman. You can see the damage, 1,453. So once Kellerman uses his rage skill, it does a 90%. You can see 89. It went from 900 to 89, and look how much damage Quinn took. And the reason why Quinn took so much damage is because the enemy Quinn was not suppressed by Michael at the very beginning of the fight. And so Quinn is suddenly dead. And what happens now is that Cavalry actually contributes a lot to the Titanos damage. And so his Titanos will be able to hit our archers for much harder than their Titanos. Although in this case it doesn't matter because our infantry just kind of melted. But if it did matter, then in the case where the fight was more even, where the stats was more even, losing Quinn so early in a rally fight is really not good. So I think the mistake there was, first of all, having the wrong rally leader. The rally leader should have, at the very minimum, maxed Michael. And second of all, having very low equipment stats. So before with legendary gear, there was this excuse of recycling gear to get more points. And this was understandable because recycling gear just gave you so many points. And the gear stats actually didn't really contribute too much because tier 3 equipment was just so difficult to upgrade. Like right now, I can't even upgrade this because it takes so much EXP to just enhance it to the next tier. Like I cannot even enhance this to the next tier, and doing so would only give me 2% stats, which is not really great. But with Fable equipment, there's no longer any excuse to keep them at a very low level. I would just recycle a lot of my other equipment, get the enhancement EXP, and put it all into legendary equipment. Put it all into Fable equipment. Like we can see here, I have max Fable equipment on my archer, and the primary reason for this is mostly, not max, sorry, these are tier 5 and tier 4. And the primary reason for this is just because of the season 5 meta, the archer gets hit really hard. So I try to boost their defense and HP as much as I can so that I can keep the archer alive for longer. And the more troops you can keep alive for longer, the higher your Titanos damage will be. Like you will be able to sustain a higher Titanos damage for more hits. Like in this case, I think this fight should have been much more favoring 5186. I think this difference is more due to a stat difference. We can see here that the Michael is maxed, meaning that his Quinn will be able to deal very heavy damage to this guy's Quinn. So let's see if that's the case. Okay, so he actually used no troops at all. If that's the case, then I am very surprised that this was so even. Because if you do not run Quinn, you actually do not have the buffs that Quinn would give. So yeah, that's really surprising. This indicates that this guy has way superior stats and formations. So let's take a look at the formations. Kind of bad. Yeah, so you can see here the formations are much superior. 289, 209, 230, 165. This is, it doesn't feel like that much of a difference, but formations are really impactful. Actually, just 20% extra formations is actually equivalent to like just 40%. Like if I were to increase defense and HP by 20% each, that would actually be equivalent to half a glorious tier. Maybe even a whole glorious tier. Okay, now let's check the stats. So these are, so infantry HP is much better, which is good. Um, the archer attack, yeah, the archer is somehow not up to par, but the stats look okay. Like this discrepancy here isn't nearly as big as the formation difference. Let's see if there's anything interesting going on here. Okay, Nerve is solo attacking. Okay, so we only had one defender. So if any of these players were more observant, I think they could have reinforced in time. So we're holding onto this tower. We're not holding onto this tower, and we're not holding onto the center. So I think the main issue here is that JFK is just not using his third team. Kind of, I think he should use his third team here, and launch rallies against the other towers, and have Val, somebody in Val, take care of the center. So I think now JFK is going AFK for an hour. So we will check back here momentarily. I'm really curious what server 16 is looking like right now. Okay, Coffin Dancer has joined now. And where is Blitzed? Where is Blitzed? He can't be back home, right? Oops. I'm just gonna mark this. Because what I would expect here is blitz to maybe zero. Let's see how this battle is going. So we have the center again, which is fine. They look to be so this solo attacks to the center. So there's not much troops in here. So this was what I was talking about earlier. You can just put like no army in here and just start gathering points. They have this tower, we have this tower, they have this tower, and we have this tower. So I'm just kind of waiting for JFK to come back right now. And in terms of score, okay. But it does appear that we are having a bit of a hard time against them with just our G5s, etc. Which is a bit unfortunate. Let's see what this is. So here you can see neither Michael is awakened, so it's a fairly even fight. Let's do a stat comparison. Stats fairly even. Well, stats actually slight advantage to the left. And formations. He has fairly decent formations. Oh boy, the formations suck on our end. But I think the reason why we won this fight was just because of the troop difference. Like 190k versus 158k. That's a pretty big difference. What was this? Was this the old fight? No, this was... Was this the report I just looked at? Oh, no. This is new. So, let's see what's going on here. Are we attacking them? Yes, we are. So, in attacks, I hope to see Windstrider stack, so as many Windstriders as possible. And we only have one, which is really unfortunate. This dog here is completely useless. This Moonbane is completely useless. We can see the damage they bring is really, really bad. And furthermore, the stat that they bring is also really, really bad. If we take a look at the defense, maxed Odin, although I would still prefer like a level 150 Windstrider over maxed Odin. At least maxed Odin gives a lot of stats. So we have one Windstrider, we have two Windstrider, three Windstrider, another Odin. So you can really see the Titanos difference here. And if we look at the Titanos damage difference, yeah, that's a lot of damage dealt by Titanos. So here, I think the only reason why the Michael's hero skill damage is so high is because what kind of, let's see who was the attacking side. So we are the attacking side. So what kind of happens is that there is a game bug. I don't know whether it's a bug or a feature, but Michael's first ultimate actually hits before the 90% damage down is applied, whereas the attacking Michael, his ultimate hits after the 90% damage down gets applied. So this Michael will deal 10 times more damage than this Michael when stats are even. So let's check whether that was what caused Michael to have so much damage. So the damage to pay attention to here is the number on top of Quinn when the sword lands. Yeah, 76k. So this was definitely not good for us. Because losing units so early on in the battle, it causes your Titanos damage to go way down as well. And you can see here the difference in the Windstrider damages. They are running Odin, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which Titanos is the leading Titanos, because all Titanos participating in the battle will have their damage land. So if this Odin is backed up by 4 Windstriders, like this archer will die right now. Well, our infantry died, so it didn't matter. Actually, uh, interesting game feature. If your cavalry dies right before the Titanos launches their attack, the Titanos attack will actually not hit the archer. Just a weird tidbit. But I think here, um, just really bad Titanos and stat disadvantage once again. Yeah, this is a really big stat disadvantage. Really not good. So infantry defense here, we have a base defense of 910, 865. So the base defense is actually superior in our case. But what makes their effect superior is the Titanos. Just look at this. Whereas for us, it's absolute garbage. HP 723, 757. So this is also very close. Titanos, very good support. For ours, it's not too much worse, but still significantly worse. And if we take a look at the formation stats here, yeah, like this is just very, very good formations for non-VIP 12. Like if this guy was VIP 12, he would be very strong, very, very strong for Glorious 5. Does he even have T11? Okay, he has the right T11 as well. So, and he has, I wouldn't say the best unit formation, unit composition, but versus a weaker opponent, this is actually very good unit composition. Because versus a weak opponent, where you know that your infantry isn't going to get wrecked, using more archers means that you take less damage because you kill your enemy faster. Our formation, it's not terrible, but I would like to see less cavalry. But yeah, the main reason why we lost by such a big margin here is the really bad Titanos that we ran on our end. Like if these were both Windstriders, I think it would have been much more even. But also this formation is really impactful. Like if you look at our formation, it's nowhere near that. Like 250%. Like the other guy is literally 400%, over 400%. You cannot really face that big of a formation disparity unless you have a big advantage elsewhere. And this team didn't really have much of a big advantage anywhere. We can check the support skills. Did we have good support skills? I guess we had decent support skills. They also had decent support skills. So support skills were the same. Yeah. So what's happening here? JFK is in the center, so there's nothing Nerve can really do. This is probably just like one troop. I don't think this is more than one troop. We can. You see, I was saying how my game crashed every 30 minutes. This is more the usual pattern with Nox. But I was about to say we can see whether he used 3 troops or 200,000 troops based on his power loss. If his power loss isn't very high, or nothing at all, then it's actually a rally. And I didn't expect that to be a rally. Holy crap! So let's take a look at the report. Thank you. Okay, here. So, first of all, okay, no comment. I'm just not gonna comment on this. This is just bad. Come on, at least run Charlotte or Hanzo. but season 2 is not good. Okay, this is funny. So you can see the disparity here between Bloodshade and Odin. Bloodshade nowadays just deals absolutely no damage at all. It's completely useless. Like when I run a rally or defense, I don't want to see any non-Odin or Windstrider in the final 5 defending Titanos. I don't care if you join with Odin or Bloodshade or Night Saber. I just don't want to see them in the top 5 Titanos. Like it's fine if they're there, but I'll be really disappointed. So here, yeah, so 300k defended against 1.1 million, mostly because they use Anubis and Season 4, which is far, far from ideal. So they are really just relying on Anubis's normal damage. We can see Michael dealt heavy damage, Lisbeth dealt heavy damage. Stat-wise, we actually had superior stats, so their Titanos were horrible as well. If we take a look, um, Odin, 1 Windstrider, and 2 dogs. These dogs contributed absolutely nothing. So all they had pretty much was this this Windstrider and this Odin, which actually dealt a fair amount of damage. Like if it wasn't for that Windstrider and Odin, this number would be looking like 5,000. Right. Skills. Yeah, I'm not going to look at this. But here, I guess I can show how scary Michael is without the damage suppression and when there is a stat advantage. Because what JFK has is he has good formations and he has pretty decent stats. So look at Morgan here. Look at the damage. 220k damage. Like Morgan is dead in the first 5 seconds. And Quinn is dead only because there were only like 30k cavalry. If there were 200k cavalry, Quinn would be still fine. So now it's over. It's pretty much over because you just lost 220k cavalry instantly. Your Titanos damage becomes nothing instantly. So Windstrider is attacking now. Yeah. I don't know why Anubis didn't get hit, but oh yeah, because there was not any Windstrider. So our side's Titanos was actually horrible. Really horrible. Yeah. As you can see, Odin cannot hit the backline archers, and which is the primary reason why Odin is much, much inferior to Windstrider. Windstrider attacks the archers, so every single time Windstrider attacks, they will decrease the damage dealt by your opponent's Windstrider as well. Also by your opponent's archer. Because archer is actually one of the troop type that contributes the most power to the Titanos damage. So I expect that fight to be quite demoralizing for them, losing 1.1 million to 300k, especially when the 300k was only 3 people, 2 of whom were farmers. No, okay, legit. The 300k was just one person, plus some relatively decent support skills. So Kellerman here is very important. Um, I forget his name. Heracles here is actually also fairly important. Actually, I would even go as far as to say that El Cid here is also important. These 3 give very good rally support skills to Michael. Kellerman helps Michael, like it helps prevent them from normal attacking. Heracles lowers damage dealt by the damage taken by the infantry, and El Cid also lowers damage taken by the infantry. So those 3 heroes, supporting heroes, actually helped a lot. But troop-wise, it was all JFK, and you can see why formation really matters here. Very good formation stats. And yet they could not do anything to that. But of course, if they stacked Windstriders, then the left side would have no chance. Okay, they are starting another rally, but the defense this time should be much better than previously. So JFK will probably head back to the Holy Mountain. Like, this is kind of dangerous. Right now, it's not too dangerous because there's really no other people inside. But if you run no troop and you're the one with the highest power, pretty much anyone can kick you out because you're defending with zero troops. I mean, you're defending with zero heroes. Is this a double rally? No way. So this will most definitely get cancelled because you don't simply rally with G3. Like, I doubt he has great heroes. So anyone can defend against this rally. It doesn't matter if it's a double rally. If the first rally goes through, I mean, if the first rally doesn't go through, this rally is going to get suppressed either. And another thing about double rallies is that you always want to make sure that the double rally, of course, one of them should stack Windstrider, but the other one also should use um, very good heroes, like Season 5 hero. You can see that got cancelled. And that should be very obvious to some people to use Season 5 hero, like Season 5 leading heroes in both rallies. But I see some people just not do that. Like, the Well would rally with Season 5 and then Season 4 and then Season 3. So that if his Season 5 does not punch through, his Season 4 is like 3 times weaker than that. And suddenly you find yourself losing, like, having like over 1 million wounded and accomplishing nothing. So this looks like a fairly sizable rally. I think JFK should go back. He can probably still solo it. Okay, so he's probably gonna go back now. And once he goes back, I hope there are better dragons than this in here. Like, I think Valve should be proactive in sending the good dragons. Like, they don't even need to send troops. Just send dragons. Good dragons. Windstriders. Just send Windstriders. Um, right. Like, at this point, it doesn't even matter that the enemy controls all Breath of Light towers. Like, the power of G8 kind of trumps that. I'm not entirely sure why, but Glorious 8 just appears to give such a big power boost to the troops. I actually have fairly robust numbers on the exactly how much the power boost is. It's about a 15% power boost. I mean, a 15% boost to the damage dealt, and a 15% decrease to the damage taken. So overall, it's like a 32% power boost, which is insane. It's equivalent to like 90% all stats, pretty much. 90% HP, 90% ferocity, 90% attack, 90% defense. Uh, yeah, even more if your base stats are higher. And I think the way base stats work is that they are just multipliers. So HP multiplies by defense, and attack multiplies by ferocity. So, for example, if you have 1000% HP, 1000% defense, if you increase both by 100%, you will decrease your damage taken by like 20%. I think that's how HP and I think that's how the stats work. And the way that all stats work, I think that they are additive to the base stats. So if we take a look here, the all troop attack, I think what it does is that it simply adds 222% to 960%. So I really don't think it multiplies. Otherwise, all stats would have a much greater impact, which they really don't. I think what does multiply is the formation stats. So 1042% attack. I think what formations does is that it multiplies that 1000% attack by 1.8. And I feel this way simply because formations just have such a big impact on the actual power, basically damage dealt as well as damage taken. When I was testing on Glorious 8 damage, just by increasing my Archer ferocity and Archer attack formation by 20% each, I boosted my Archer damage by half the amount as going from Glorious 7 to Glorious 8, which is like 40% stats. So the math kind of works out. Although there has been no rigorous test yet, I think it will be fairly easy to do this kind of test rigorously. Just do it in arena, comparing before the formation upgrade versus the after the formation upgrade, and see how much extra damage you're dealing. And I think that if you do it multiplicatively, basically looking at the final multiplicative stats before and after, you'll be able to determine if it is a multiplicative relationship. If it is not, then the numbers won't match. The numbers will be very far off. Okay, I probably missed some stuff. I hope it wasn't too much. We'll probably see it in the report though. Um, but it does look like this rally succeeded. Mm, the only way this rally would succeed is if we had garbage defense. Here it is. Yeah, so this defense succeeded with 200,000 troops versus 850,000 troops. Well, here, their issue is not having Awakened Michael. If they had Awakened Michael, let's see what the. Okay, it might not have made the difference because JFK just used very low cavalry count. This is actually a very strong composition. If it were me, I would even go as far as just use one cavalry, put the rest in either infantry or archer, depending on how many Windstriders they stacked. But because. Oh, no, no, no. Sorry. I don't mean JFK's side, because he didn't have Awakened Michael, and he had 248,000 cavalry. So as I showed before, without Awakened Michael, even if you're the defender, you will not be able to suppress. Well, they will suppress you instead because they will be able to use the rage skill at the beginning of the fight, while you have to wait till your bar charges. So you can see JFK launches, and let's see how much damage the cavalry takes. Okay, that is surprising. I did not expect that. um, that is very surprising. I'm not too sure why the cavalry only took um, no damage. I think the hit just absolutely missed for whatever reason. I didn't even see the hit register. Or the cavalry maybe only took 13,000 damage, which is ridiculously low. Like I was expecting 140,000 damage or something. Yeah, I gotta rewatch that. That's very strange. So our Michael, wait, no, 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 this is not what I want to see. That looks like an absolute garbage fight. Um, So our Michael, was the difference really that big? Like I was expecting so much higher damage on the cavalry by Michael. Um, let's see. So the stat is at a disadvantage. I won't deny that. But the cavalry HP here isn't exactly that high. The cavalry defense is pretty good, but otherwise, mm, it might be because. So one thing, the reason why in the previous fight, Michael did so much damage to cavalry might have been because there weren't like Lisbeth was not there to suppress the rage skill damage. Like Lisbeth decreases rage skill damage by 50%. So that might have been partially the reason, but I'm surprised that the damage was so low. Um, let's take a look at that again. So the sword comes down, 13,000. Like you can see, it dealt 5,000 damage to the infantry, like almost 6,000 damage, but only 13,000 to the cavalry. Yeah, that's a bit strange. Okay, let's see how much damage his Michael dealt to our cavalry. So this might be a little harder to see because Michael's damage will come in very close to Quinn's damage. So 836. So our Michael did 13,000 while his Michael did 836. Yeah. Still surprising though. I expected more damage from Michael. But I think one of the main reasons why infantry kind of fell behind archer and cavalry is because of the formation stat difference. So we can see that infantry formation is defensive focused, while archer and cavalry formation is offensive focused. So if a future tier formation balanced this this imbalance, we would see much more damage coming out of infantry. So let's see heroes. So in the previous team, they didn't really have Quinn. Let's see if Quinn lowers rage skill damage. Okay, it doesn't lower rage skill damage. Um, reduces rage skill damage by 40%. Okay, so that lowers by 40%. And Michael. Okay, Michael has a significant contribution as well. Rage skill damage taken minus 30%. Rage skill taken by Cavalry Troop by 50%. So as you can see, it's not just about awakened Michael versus non-awakened Michael. It's also a lot about the rage skill damage suppression at the beginning of the fight. We have minus 30%, 50%, and 40%, which is probably pretty crazy. And this game, I think, is really about multipliers. The more multipliers that get stacked, the greater damage either increases or gets suppressed. Like it's still very interesting how Michael's awakening skill here decreases damage not by 75% but by 90%. Like combine this with all the other damage suppression skills, and that really defines the difference between season 5 and the other seasons. Okay. What So this is what I was talking about earlier. I think JFK should be more proactive with his third team. Um, just simply due to better stats. Better formations, I mean. And better glorious also. Um, yeah. Better glorious. Glorious 8 is just such a quantitative, like a qualitative difference that other glorious just cannot compete. I remember when I was glorious 6 and 7, I could not touch glorious 8 even if they had lower stats than me. Like lower, slightly lower stats, slightly lower formations, I could not even touch them. But once I became glorious 8, I could compete with glorious 10, like in 1v1, assuming that their stats are relatively even to mine. And I'm running better troop unit composition, um, and more troops, like 230,000 versus 200,000. Yeah, I could probably show it here, like history. Um, like here, this was very close. I actually beat his first team. And this is just due to more troops and better composition. If we look at formations, his formation is a little better than mine. Actually, it's the same. My formation is a little better, but not by too much. My cavalry formation kind of sucks. But he had better Windstrider and Glorious 10. You can see here. And Glorious 10 really impacts the Windstrider damage. Like I took heavy hits from his Windstrider. You can see his Titanos kills 72,000, while mine is only 49,000. Now do mind that his 72,000 is actually higher because I'm actually not running any cavalry. So his 72,000 purely is hitting my archer. My archer is getting absolutely pummeled by his Titanos. And I think the difference is not necessarily due to Awakened Windstrider, but rather due to Glorious 10 troops. The stronger your troops, the stronger Titanos will hit. Um, and yeah, stats wise, relatively even. I think overall my stats were a little better, which definitely helped me win. But it's really, really hard to actually win against two higher glorious tiers. So that's pretty cool. And oops. And here, I want to show why you don't want to use Odin. Um, it probably expired, but there was a point where I could win against Snoops. Um, I was probably just lazy here. I don't know why I didn't win against Snoops, but here, let me show. Let me try to show. Actually, I don't think I can show this. Okay, this was actually very funny. This was a custom composition designed especially to counter this. But I did not expect that when his infantry died a bit faster than usual, my cavalry actually ran in front of my infantry and got hammered by Hanzo. So if we look at this, I accidentally, oh, I can't look at it anymore because it's too far gone. But what kind of happened is that I killed his Anubis. No, not Anubis. I killed his Horus a bit too quickly before his Hanzo could use his rage skill on my infantry. So that when Hanzo used his rage skill, what would happen is that there will be a delay where no damage is dealt when your troops are running marching towards the enemy, in this case marching towards Hanzo. But the moment the troop arrive and can deal damage, the rage skill damage hits instantly. So what happened was my cavalry was running ahead of my infantry, and the cavalry got hit by Hanzo's ult and died instantly, my 3,000 cavalry. If it wasn't for that, my season 5 team would easily be able to wipe his season 5 team. But because my cavalry died, I no longer have the passive boosts from Quinn. And so my season 5 team got shredded by his season 5 team. Like this skill is very important. All ally rage skill damage increase 100%, and all ally rage skill charge speed by 40%. Like without the 40% charge speed, like what am I even doing? It's not good. And especially this, all ally troops damage taken from normal attacks by 30%. Because season 5 has such strong rage skill damage suppression, like from Lisbeth, from Michael, normal attacks actually do more like are actually much more impactful than the rage skill. So yeah, we can see here, just um, looking at the result itself. My Quinn died here, so I had nothing. I had no Quinn, meaning that I took so much normal damage from Snoops, which is never good. Um, but yeah, you can see the Titanos difference here. Unfortunately, the report where I won versus this by a large margin is gone. But even in this matchup, Windstrider deals so much more damage than Odin. Partially because I have no cavalry, but still, even if I had cavalry, Windstrider would still be significantly better. Um, yeah, I think this video might be going on for a bit too long. My voice is getting kind of hoarse. But let's see. It still seems to be a fairly active fight, which is a bit surprising. Let's see if there's any new reports. So we've taken this tower. Let's see what we took it with. So Vera, no, it can't be right. I'm really looking forward to seeing the report now. If we had this as the rally lead, how did we win? How did we win? I think what happened is that JFK or someone was the rally lead, and because he already had uh, two marches inside the other towers, he got instantly kicked out. That must have been what happened. Otherwise, there's no way such poor heroes can kick anything out. So let's see if there's a report. There is a report, I think. Yeah, this makes much more sense. Yeah, season 5. If only Quinn was awakened, but I guess it's fine. Titanos wise, really bad. Just look at this. 175,000 kills by Windstrider, level 140, and then the Odins do 22,000 each. Probably because they just didn't have much cavalry. Um, yeah, not much cavalry. Some cavalry. Oh, that's even worse. Like they had a lot of, well, in this case, no cavalry at all. Like it seems like they had a fair amount of cavalry, like 300,000 cavalry. But yeah, and the reason why they won was once again Michael probably dealt a big, like a lot of damage um, to Morgan here. If we look at the report, 258,000, and what this does once again is that it prevents the Windstrider from absolutely shredding our team, because it does appear that they did have a lot of good Titanos. Let's see. So one Windstrider, actually not that great. So it must have been a stat difference. Yeah, stat difference. But let's see how much damage Michael dealt to Windstrider. We'll just speed this part up. I mean, Michael dealt to Morgan. So here, 214,000. Instantly dead. Like Michael, boom, and then Quinn just kills. So let's take a look at the damage dealt to the archer. Never mind, Kellerman's just dead. So Kellerman obviously is not much of a defensive hero, especially when not backed up by super defensive heroes like Lisbeth. Yeah, we'll just go back to watching the fight. So we have the top tower. They are rallying this tower. Let's see who's in here. I think it should be fine. Though here they gotta be careful because I don't know if does Helix have more power than Ninja? I hope not. Because I know they are relatively close in power. Where is Ninja? Okay, seriously. Okay, Ninja is here, 301. And Helix, where is Helix? I'm just gonna check this. So Helix is 277. Okay, so that's fine. So Helix is not gonna take over Ninja's defense. Um, and I think someone should join with Windstrider. Yeah. So, oh, this is not gonna go well. If this rally is full, then I don't think Ninja has enough troops to hold. Like having no dragon, I mean having red dragon is bad, but having like 4 dragons is even worse. I'm actually a bit surprised Ninja decided to take that rally face first. I would have retreated. Was this a rally? Oh, Nerve probably rallied. Let's take a look. Uh, oh, we actually rallied. So in this case, they had better heroes, but we won. I think the difference is probably Windstrider. Stats about even. We have better infantry. They have better archers. Titanos. Yeah, this is pretty good Titanos. This is actually the best I've seen so far. Um, Whereas for them, not that bad actually. Oh, JFK. Never mind. Well, actually, not never mind. So we have 2 Windstriders and 3 Odins, and they had 2 Windstriders and 2 Odins. So Titanos, we win in that regards. And I think the difference here was just us having JFK in the fight, because stats they look pretty even. Titanos, we had a slight advantage. Um, if JFK was not in here, then we would have most likely lost, because TA troops they carry a lot of weight, especially in this kind of distribution. Even if JFK is not rallying, if the stats are the same, like if the stats are comparable, it's still GA troops. GA troops is gonna crush G5. Okay, so now let's see Ninja's report. As expected, he got trashed on. Yeah, I don't know why he decided to take the rally. Stats lower. Titanos absolutely wrecked. Yeah. Oh, I lost my rank 1 in points. This is actually pretty exciting. Pretty exciting fight. I didn't expect um, server 57 to still be fighting. I guess props to them, even with JFK support. Without JFK, I'm sure they would have um, a relatively significant advantage over us. But with JFK, um, they actually don't have much of a chance, I think. Yes, I am indeed watching, and you will be listening to it soon. So, so here is something I can comment on. Um, I know I talked about 2 videos back when I was commentating on server 5 versus server 10. I talked about just throwing your troops, like making them die, versus throwing them like versus actually healing them. Which one is cheaper? And back then, I mentioned that just making your troops die is like 2 times more efficient, maybe more. Like just training back those troops, training back the troops that died. I was actually wrong. healing the troops is slightly about 20% more efficient, 20% cheaper in terms of speed ups than training those troops back. But this is in the context of losing 10%. When your troops go to the Valor, you are actually only losing 3% because when troops die, when your hospital is full and more troops start dying, you are 30% of those troops will die permanently, while 70% will go to the Hall of Valor. And among those 30%, 90% will be revivable. So instead of losing 10%, when your troops are going to the Hall of Valor, you're actually losing 3%. And that actually makes throwing your troops into the Hall of Valor more efficient, about 2.3 times more efficient than using healing speedups. Of course, you will take about quite a long time to take those troops out from the Hall of Valor. But until your Hall of Valor gets completely filled up, it's actually more efficient. It will cost you less speedups to train the troops that you lost back than actually continuously healing those troops and preventing them from going into the Hall of Valor. Of course, if you let your Hall of Valor fill up, there's always the risk of getting attacked and actually losing 10%. So JFK did another solo attack. It didn't seem to work. Solo attacks are just very hard in the era of Windstrider stacking. Your archers just get wiped, and once your archers are gone, you can't do damage anymore. So he's launching an attack again, and it didn't work. This is quite expensive for him. I don't think it's worth doing this. Not only in terms of speed ups, like march speed ups, but also healing speed ups. Maybe he wants to catch up to me in points. Like he's kind of committed now. Is he gonna attack once more? Because this is kind of like a. So they are reinforcing. So this is not good for JFK, obviously. Okay, he actually broke through. So probably because other people didn't reinforce, which is a shame. I think this guy really misplayed. He should have reinforced faster. So this rally is about to launch, 1.1 million. Let's see what the defense is. There is no defense. Okay, then we won't pay attention to it. So now we control 3 towers and not the middle. So the middle is kind of getting pummeled. It will be getting pummeled soon, especially if we continue controlling this tower. Yeah. I will continue commentating as long as this fight continues. As long as it keeps on delivering, I don't see any reason to stop. Oops. Okay, so what should we be doing? So I don't know what's in here, but assuming that this is a full team, what I would be doing is that let's see what defense is in here. So JFK is not in here. So as JFK, I would just take control of like 3 towers, like have my Season 3 team here, season 4 team here. Huh. Okay. 5186 is slow as hell. Yeah, that's quite a shame. Do you not pay attention? Exactly. So I would have season 4 team here, season 5 team here, and just have them reinforce. So we will control 3 towers, and maybe have the rest of the guys do rallies on this last tower. Well, actually, JFK cannot control 3 towers. He can only control 2. So he will control this tower, season 4, this tower, season 5, and have the rest fight over this tower. You gotta boost hard. You gotta boost harder, man. Like these kind of critical moments, you cannot use the 20%. Or if you are going to use the 20%, you have to look ahead. Like you have to have very good situation awareness. The enemy is coming. You see your main well starting to defend. You start to reinforce as soon as possible. Like the moment the well puts its troops in, you would want your troops in there already. Like you don't want to be slow. Like this was kind of an issue for server 10 as well, in that the main wells were doing their best to like just capture, like to doing their best to stay in the towers, and the other players are just so slow at reinforcing those towers. I think overall this is very good practice for server 12. The opponent is not so strong, and we do have a no castle hit agreement. And this fight is fairly extended, so I think it's really good practice for them. And the main things to practice is to see what is what is the defensive team versus what you're using to rally. How to set up good Titanos, how to set up good heroes. Like this is a very good setup. We can see the rally support skills, very good. This skill and this skill are both very good. Not ideal, of course, but this is ideal. This is not ideal, but still very good. This is absolute garbage. Um, no thanks. So now we are rallying this, and they are rallying. Whoops. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. And they are rallying a different tower. Okay, let's see who's in here. Ninja is in here. So JFK can probably just put his send his season 5 here. Or maybe JFK joined this. Oh, this is beautiful. Like 3 Windstriders, 1 Max Odin, another Odin. So JFK has his max team here. So he can probably still send his season 5 team, I mean season 4 team here, assuming that there's sufficient reinforcements. But I think, yeah, I think what they can do is uh, JFK can put 2 units inside 2 towers. So he can put his S4 team, like exactly, he can put his S4 team here and then his S3 team here. So what will happen is that once this rally hits this tower, his S5 team will get kicked out. And when your team gets kicked out, I think it will go back to you faster than if you just leave the tower. I'll confirm this in a bit. I'm actually not sure of that. But if it does leave faster, then he can use that speed to send his season 5 team here instead. So send his season 5 team, leave with the season 4, and the season 5 team will defend before this rally launches, because this rally comes about 45 seconds after our rally. Yeah. So when it comes to stronger alliances, like top alliances fighting each other, it's actually much more chaotic than this. This is actually much easier to commentate on than if I had, say, commentated on uh, season server 5 versus server 40, or server 40. I mean, not server 40, server 5 versus server 10, or if they were going against a much more established server 71. So I kind of lost my train of thought earlier. What I was saying is that the main things to learn here are who should be rally leaders. So the rally leader, in my opinion, at the very minimum, should be running Awaken Michael. Rally supporters should be supporting with good Titanos and the proper supporting hero. So if we look at the support skills here, we can see this is very good. This is like peak tier. Like, not, it doesn't get much better than this. This is good, and this is garbage, because you cannot duplicate the support skill. So they ran away as expected, um, but in this case, uh, I think 5186 should just cancel this rally, let JFK's team go back quickly, and JFK can quickly reinforce this. Like right now, you're kind of wasting time on that end, and this is not well defended. Like, if he was running season 5, this would be no issue. But because he's running season 4, it's actually kind of close. Um, oh, this rally is not full. It might not be so close then. Rally incoming. Is this rally gonna fill up? It's actually not gonna fill up. Okay, he canceled it, which is probably a good move, but I'm actually not sure how well his rally would have done against this, because this, it just has 2 Titanos. The rest is not even full, and it only has like 700,000 troops. So now we have this tower, we have this tower, we have this tower, we have this tower. So we have all 4 towers, and they're not going to have a good time. So now we are rallying. Wait, what? Oh, he moved here. Um, so this guy, like, he's rallying without Awakened Michael, and I think that's a pretty big disadvantage for him, because the issue with Awakened Michael, not only is he able to use his rage skill at the very start, he also his rage skill also suppresses damage by 90%, whereas non-awakened Michael, his rage skill only suppresses damage by 85%. So it might not seem like a big difference, but it's actually a big difference. Like, non-awakened Michael will take about 30% more damage than awakened Michael from all kinds of attacks, from cavalry and infantry. I mean, Oops. So let's see what the defense is. Oh, the defense is solid. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna get broken. Uh, although it does depend on whether 5186 is actually the primary defender. So his power, okay, 385 million power, so he should definitely be the primary defender. So if this fills up, it was perfect until it was not. What happened to my second Odin? I mean, what happened to my Windstrider? Are they leaving? What is going on? I am utterly confused. Maybe they're leaving and joining this. But this is just weird. The defense was already solid. You don't just rally again and make the defense less good. Like now wait. Troop details, garrisoning, and like now your support skills are all messed up. Like the epic support skills you had before, they're gone now. Like Morgan's support skill, it's gone. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get Horus's support skill. Like this is just unnecessary risk, I think. Timing it so close, you won't be able to adjust any kind of formation in this case. Maybe they left to join Ninja's rally. So in this case, JFK joined Ninja's rally. I don't think they should have really left to join this rally because I think the enemy is more likely to run from the Holy Mountain than they are to run from a solid defense, but without JFK. But let's see how this turns out. The defense is much weaker than before, but it might still hold, especially if this doesn't fill up. Maybe server 57 is already running out of steam. So that rally got cancelled for whatever reason. I mean, filling this rally up is pointless because there's already troops in here. What is filling that rally up gonna do? Like Lady Vera, what happened to your Morgan? Now you're defending with Horus, which is still okay, but much worse than Morgan. Support skill, I mean. So it looks like 5186 will be the primary defender. They kicked out the trash Titanos, which is good. What? No, no. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. If he does not switch this out, he's fucked. What? And they cancelled? No way. They could have absolutely wrecked. They could have absolutely wrecked this. No way. Well, it does depend on if JFK makes it in, but he might not make it in because this is full. This will be full, I think. Troop details. Yeah, this is full. JFK is just going to get bounced back, and 5186 has this trash team. Nobody's there to replace him. And Server 57 could have just blown him apart. That's a big, big mistake. Like, it probably doesn't matter, but it's still a big error in judgment from Server 57. Like, if I was him, I would have launched that rally. I would have sped it up. I would have hit it in 3 seconds. Yeah. I'm not impressed. Yeah, I don't know if I want to commentate anymore. That was just disappointing. I think they could have massacred us because we were defending with freaking season 3. Like, what is the point of? Is he doing a solo attack now? Like, it's not gonna work. Yeah, he's going back. Like, what is the point of rallying if you're just gonna cancel? Like, you can bait rally, but that didn't look like a bait rally. That looked like a real rally. But what is the point if you're just gonna cancel when you could have done such major damage? It's like I'm launching a rally when I'm already planning to cancel it. Like, what is even the point? It doesn't even matter if your rally didn't fill up. Maybe his rally didn't fill up, and that's why he canceled. But it doesn't matter if he launches 1 million troops or 1.2 million troops. If he's running season 5 versus season 3, he's gonna kick them out. And I think at this point, the fight is pretty much nearing its conclusion. So I think I could end the commentary here. I will wait until we control the Holy Mountain, which will definitely be punched through. They started another rally, which is a pointless rally. At this point, JFK can just slow march, like literally slow march to this tower. Like, this tower is very weak, but it still cannot be broken by a solo attack. At least I don't think it can. It depends on who's defending. But the rally takes so long that JFK can just march here, and the rally is instantly useless. Here, his rally was so close to launching. I'm really surprised he did not just let the rally launch and then speed up to kick them out. It does look like GG to me. Like, this feels like more formality than anything. This rally is gonna hit the Holy Mountain, and then we will have free reign to reinforce this tower. Huh? Where did their G5 go? Oops. I think their G5 left. One of their G5s. I think it was called Nerve. I don't see him anymore. Shit. Okay, I hope that wasn't too loud. My mic stand fell. Apologies for that. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. So our rally against the Holy Mountain is about to launch. I don't think there's anything they can do to defend against this, especially now that Nerve has left. Um, yeah, and after we take the Holy Mountain, we have 2 minutes to defend this, which is plenty of time. So I think the rally towards the Holy Mountain should speed up so that we have a longer time to reinforce the North Tower. Come on, speed up. Speed up. Well, I guess we'll have a little less time to reinforce the North Tower, but it should still be fine. Like, the reason why I think speeding up is important here I don't know how many teams are in here, but if there's a lot of teams in here, there's always the risk of them starting to run out, like starting to leave the Holy Mountain. And the more that leaves, the less troops you're able to kill. And that's why you should speed up. A second rally against the Holy Mountain? Jeez. I don't think two rallies are needed. So after this, actually, I'm just going to check right now. Oh my god. Okay. So I just took a peek at Vera's heroes and they looked really bad. Okay, so here, I don't know if they wanted to intentionally take that rally, but um, yeah, I guess we're fortunate that they didn't run. The rally was not completely one-sided, but it was still fairly dominant for us. And I think the reason why that's the case is because JFK is in there. Um, okay, so we decided to leave this tower. And yeah, I don't think the dynamics will change too much from here. Um, is Nerve still in here? Okay, I don't see Nerve anywhere, so he probably gave up. Without Nerve, I don't think they can really continue their momentum anymore. So yeah, I will probably end the commentary here. This has been the fight between server 12 Valhalla versus server 57, uh, the White Walkers. I think they put up a great fight against us, especially considering that we had a glorious 8 player on our side. And yeah, I wish the best for them moving forward, and hope you all enjoyed. This is Al Spectra. See everyone later. Bye bye.